I want to thank everyone for watching See Things From Our Side. As your host and an Oakland native, I'm so delighted to have the opportunity and I have so much gratitude to bring something like this to our city. And I couldn't have done it without the beautiful ladies of Black Girls Greenhouse right here in West Oakland, who helped design this beautiful space, and they shared some incredible knowledge and insight in our interview today. Tune in for another dope episode. If you could just please tell our viewers a little bit about what you ladies do and about yourselves.
Who's gonna take it?
We always debate on.
Yes, so Jamaica and I are the co-founders of Black Girls Greenhouse. We opened it during the pandemic in 2020, August 1st. We are located in West Oakland, California. Okay. And our space is committed to being an incubator for joy, celebration, and reflection for our community. And we prioritize Black makers, Black artists, Black staff, Black music. Open and available to anybody, but understanding that there was a gap and we're standing in that gap for our community.
That's beautiful. And Jamaica, how did you and Kalu meet? Where did you guys form your partnership?
So we actually have a lot of mutual friends. So we had kind of known of each other peripherally, but had never actually met. And so we met in February of 2020 at the Black Joy Parade.
Stop.
And I actually went to go say hello to another good friend of mine, who she also happens to be friends with, and they were together. And it was just kind of instant from there. I think we went to lunch like a week later, something like that. And then she had an event, and I went to that. And a couple weeks after that, COVID was just like full on. And so we kept in touch during that entire time and, you know, talked almost every day, talked about plants, life, kids, family, just everything. And then came to this point one day randomly in her living room, and she was just like, "You start a plant shop?" And I was like, "Sure." And about 6 weeks later, we opened our doors.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what inspired you, Kalu, to Jamaica's point, to want to start a plant shop? Where did that come from?
Well, the both of us, actually, a large part of our conversation was around plants and design and furniture and all things aesthetic. So, I mean, I might have been the one to say it, but I think it was on both of our hearts. And we both have family that also kind of influenced our love for plants. And it was a pandemic. We were home. So all we were looking at were our walls and what they had or didn't have, our furniture, our art, how things in our home made us feel. And so I think it was just like the perfect timing and the perfect storm to be able to create something like that.
Definitely. That's amazing. Tiffany, talk to us about how you connected with these two ladies. And you and I have tons of mutual connections. You know, Morgan, I mean, you guys go way back. Obviously, we're connected through so many different synchronicities collectively, but you and I especially. How did you guys connect?
So Calcutta and I both knew each other basically in another world when she was doing head wraps and I was with a jewelry line that I was doing. And so we first connected for a fashion show. So it was kind of organic that I guess our creative lives would intertwine. We kind of kept in touch through Instagram and stuff like that. And then when they did their first concert series, we reconnected through another mutual friend who pulled me in for event planning to help coordinate with that. And I attached immediately.
Well, really, we poached her. What happened? She got poached.
And it's just been just a real organic but very fast friendship and bond since then.
So let's talk about what you guys do and what has been the story over the last couple of years.
Yeah, so we, again, at the opening of the business, we were a plant and specialty home goods shop, a community space, and what we like to call an absolute vibe, which is just like the marrying of all of those things together, the music, the art, the culture, the nature, like all of it. And we've expanded a lot in the 2.5-ish almost years that we've been open. And a lot of that has been informed by our customers and by our audience. So folks have come in and said like, "Oh my gosh, I love this space. Have you guys ever thought about, have you ever thought about, have you ever thought about," and like all of these things. And we're like, no, we actually haven't. But once you hear it and get that question for like the 10th time, and you're like, okay, maybe there's something to this. So that kind of led us down the path of hosting events, of partnering with Tiffany to do some of our like corporate design installation things, designing sets, things like this. So again, that was sort of in that same organic, just sort of happening of the way that the business came to be. So a lot of it was just like people coming and asking like, do you guys do this? Have you thought about this? And we're like, no, but thank you.
I love that. I love that. So where did that evolve into? Did it become something you then added to your business portfolio or strategy around events, design? When did you become more intentional on that element of the business?
So we have a different business model. We're only open 3 days a week to the public, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 10 to 5 p.m. We will not add another day ever. I think that's just a really archaic way of doing business. When you create a demand, people will come on the days that you're open. And so you don't have to work the way our parents worked. But being entrepreneur, you realize those other days that you're not open to the public, you are still working.
Correct.
You're still applying yourself. You're still in communication with staff. And with plants, because they're living things, there's a maintenance that has to go into it.
Right.
And so there's a lot that goes into our days. But because we're only open 3 days a week, some of these other questions that Jamaica was mentioning that we get from our customers or clientele actually is something that we could do because we're not open to the public. So it's like if someone wanted to rent our space out, which is something that happens, now we can do it on the days that we're closed and supplement income. We also have gotten into design and plant installation and plant maintenance. So our team goes out and they maintain the plants that we set up in offices, that we design in office spaces and commercial buildings. We do design things like this that we were able to do for See Things From Our Side. So it's kind of taken us a lot of different angles, but all things that Jamaica and I are really good at. And then being able to bring Tiffany in, who is also an expert in that field, because manpower, there's only so much that two of us can do, and having her where we can actually trust her with our vision and knowing that she's going to execute every time has been a blessing. And so making sure you find somebody that you can bring on board to kind of assist and alley-oop things too is important.
Absolutely. So Jamaica, for you, what was that tipping point where you realized you guys had so many different business verticals and you needed to continue to expand on each? How did you work towards that?
I don't think that we actually went into it thinking that like these are all of the things that we're going to do. These are all of the ways that we're going to be able to like grow and expand the business. When we first started, honestly, we joke about it often. We thought that we were going to be like out on the corner, like spinning signs and like dancing, trying to get people to like come. And then on our first day, on our opening day, we sold out completely. And it was at that point we were kind of like, oh, maybe we're on to something a bit here. And that happened consecutively for the first probably.
It happened. I was running in the middle of
she was like leaving in the middle of the day to like go re-up for the next day.
How did something like that feel?
It like was plant slanger.
Incredibly surreal. We were just like, what is happening right now? So like we had this idea that like, okay, we'll do this for 3 months and then we'll see kind of where we are, if it's worth, continuing, like how it's going to go, all of that. And then day one, like out the gate, it was just like something that we thought like, oh, this is something that'll happen eventually. And it's like, no, it's happening today, right now.
Well, were you there at that first day too?
No.
So when did you join them in this?
It's been a few months now, so it was the second location.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but you heard of the craze.
It's been a year and a half.
The first concert was June of last year.
A few months.
So
time flies when you're having fun.
Hey, you know what? That means
time flies when you're having fun. I'm like, it's been about 4 months. Yeah. Okay. No.
That means you're just getting younger. That's all. That's all that means.
Yes.
So you guys have done some amazing things together. What have been some of your favorite events? What are some of your normal purchases from your customers? What are the things you specialize in each category? Like what's been some signature moments for you? Although you guys have only been around for a year, 2.5 years, there have been some signature moments and some like vibes, because you're a vibe creation destination now, right? It's the energy, and now that energy, it's like an atom you've taken, like what I've done with your partnership, is taking some of that energy and infuse it into this show, right? And so it's like, that's how we share in the gift. And then that connectivity with people, especially in our culture and our community. And it's like, we can start like, creating those opportunities. You guys don't even know what you've already done, is what I'm trying to tell you. It's a domino effect. It already has sparked, through partnership, other ways to expand your brand, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, how do you guys take it to the next level, I guess, is the question more than anything, because you're already doing it and it's super dope.
Next level.
But what is the next level? What do you want? What do you want next?
Well, I mean, to answer maybe your first question, our favorite moment.
Yeah.
We've done some stuff that I don't think either. Well, I haven't processed. I'll speak for myself. Like, I literally still am like, the other day, my cousin was like, "Wait, you were in Forbes?" And like,
Wow.
It's just stuff that we haven't, we've been able to do things in essence, which like I grew up reading.
Of course.
We've been able to have like world-renowned artists singing at our greenhouse. Like that, like having Masego perform inside of our shop is it's still a mind-blowing thing for me.
We were on a TV show.
Yeah, we literally we were on Revolt, right? So like just things from opening up a plant shop. And so, I had a really good conversation with somebody recently who was like, it's not that it's a plant shop, it's that you guys tapped into something that was really needed and required almost within your community. And when people see value in what you're doing, you don't actually end up having to force yourself upon them. They'll come to you.
Right.
And so I've had many businesses before this one. This is the most successful. I've been an entrepreneur for 15 years. And I think that that's because I've finally unlocked something with my team and my partner where we're doing something that has purpose and value in our community. And because it's needed, I don't have to, we've never paid for marketing for an ad, nothing. It's literally been organic. And so, I don't know that I've sat with all of our accomplishments and all of the ways that we've been rewarded, because the work is really heavy and it's a lot, but I'm going to try and do a better job of it. So I appreciate the question.
Absolutely.
It allows us to reflect on the good.
Yeah, it's really dope. And so Jamaica, my second question was, because I got excited, I just skipped the second question.
I was like, hold on, Tasha.
But I allowed them to answer the first one. So the second one was like, where do you go from here? And it might be too soon to answer that. So I think my spirit tells me that I sense more growth and opportunities, for what you guys are doing. And my curiosity is, I know how hard it is as Black women, Black people, Black men, to manage all the different things, right? When you have business, family, children, work, tons of projects, things like the universe is pulling at you in multiple directions. But we're enjoying it too. You're blessed. There's gratitude. It's just a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so I notice that and recognize it because it's our generation too. We're all in that stage of life. So what's up? I mean, how do you guys manage life, and then where do you want the vision of this business to go?
Be honest.
Better not be honest.
We do have some beverages for you.
I might need one at the end of all of this. We manage as best we can. There's, again, so many parts of the business that we are still learning and that are still kind of forming and showing themselves to us, and we're still figuring out. And so I think we kind of take the information that we have and the experiences that we have as, entrepreneurs and working in, corporate environments and all of that, and try to make the best decisions to move those things forward. And so those are very kind of immediate and in front of us, right now decisions. And then, of course, we also have some lofty, further out things we would love to, to do this. And we would love to open a second location. We would love to, some of the bigger things that are going to take a little bit more time. But to Kalkadan's point earlier, I think it's really important for us to kind of take moments to recognize how far we've been able to come in the business so far, and the experiences and opportunities that we've had, and let those inform the ways that we want to move forward, and not only what the business does, but how we want to feel about those things and how
Right.
we want to feel in them, and like while we're doing them and why we're doing them. I think that's kind of a paramount thing for us, is just always to have some intention behind moving forward with something and not just doing it just because.
Wow. Wow.
And we've had some opportunities come our way, and up front they sound really great and really exciting, and just
Right,
like you
right.
can't turn this down. Like, how could you say no? And then when you dig a little bit deeper, and you're like, that actually might not be the best thing for us. And the next best thing always comes back around. So
That's
trusting in that too.
That's amazing. That's sound game right there. All of our viewers. Tiffany, for you, let's shift gears a little bit. Thinking about Oakland and where we are, our climate in terms of our community, and almost at the same time, like having a resurgence of our culture, of Black acceptance, of Black love from the general population, and Oakland being a leader in the movement, in the culture, in our creativity that we see across our diaspora. This is one of the main hubs of culture. How does that impact you as a designer, and how do you bring your talent and your experience to the greenhouse?
Ooh, okay.
Loaded.
Bang,
Gave me the hard one. All right. Well, I definitely, as a Black woman, I can say for myself that I am not in I'm not in a better time where I feel proud of being a Black person, a Black woman. I feel like, although we went through a lot of diversity during the pandemic and just that whole racial climate, I feel definitely stronger, more empowered, more community coming out of it. And I feel like as long as we continue to foster that, and I want to do that in every way that I can. So, even just showing a example, of 3 Black women being able to work together. I have actually my own business as well, but being able to collaborate and to do big things, to be a great example. I feel like if we continue to do that and to continue to support people that are, coming up as well.
Exactly.
I'm always open to help and lend a hand, and almost too much, actually. I can overextend
Sure.
personally. But I just feel like it's a great time to be Black. It's a great time to be entrepreneurial. It's a great time to be who you want to, like, to really sit in yourself. And I push everybody to do that.
Absolutely.
I feel like the resources are there. The climate is there. There's an undertone that I feel like is getting larger and larger. And I just think we just need to continue to ride
We
that.
do. And that's my hope for this show and for our community, because when we look at other cities, they get a lot of recognition for being cultural centers of excellence.
Yeah,
And a lot of people bite from Oakland, let's just face it.
a lot.
And I don't think we have captured our own essence and our own beauty and been able to narrate our own story, right? In a way that people hear from us versus just imitating, like through art. I say Oakland, or you say Brooklyn, or you say certain cities, it comes with something. And some cities have people who really wear it and produce content to support it. It's time for us to do that. How do we continue to share love and light in this city through your work and just as a community in general? Who wants to take it?
I'll take it. I mean, piggybacking off of what Tiffany said, I think Oakland is special in that there are some really dope activists, artists, tastemakers, socialites. Like, we kind of cover a lot of different areas in Oakland. And I actually have had the experience of collaborating and working with a lot of them. And I think that's something special about Oakland, that we do come together and we do support. Sometimes I go to events, I'll be like, man, I'm seeing the same people because that's how much we show up for each other. Everyone is always at the same thing, supporting. I think it's important that we keep our finger on the pulse, though, that we're paying attention to, again, how do we get some of the younger artists and entrepreneurs up as well, right? And include them in some of the things we're doing. I think it's important to have conversation. Like events are great and everyone wants to show up for the event, but I think the dialogue is really important. And the dialogue around funding,
Right.
culture, safety, resources, all of these things are really, really important. And so it can't just be that we get to dress up and show up and have a good time and there's a DJ and drinks. It needs to have, you know, we need to go back to old school. We have these old school meetings in a basement somewhere.
Absolutely.
And have the Godfather speak and be able to like really understand what our next moves are and get strategic.
Yeah, you're gonna open me up now because now we're talking. So Jamaica, I'll frame this for you. As we think through our political climate, as we think through this city, as we think through the immediate future, what do you feel like is the Plymouth Rock for the greenhouse right now? What do you guys stand on? What are your principles? What are you supporting? What's important to you from a value-centric perspective? How do you contribute with that?
So I think our initial sort of feeling around when we opened happened during a time of a lot of just like social, racial injustice. It was on the heels of like Breonna Taylor's death and George Floyd and all of these things. And I think it was really important for us to kind of reframe, like you said, the narrative and the story that was being told about Black people and who we are. And so even the first location that we opened was right on MLK between like 33rd and 34th, like somewhere around there. And so many people were just like, I wouldn't have expected this space to be here. Like I walk in here and it's like walking into another world. And our response to that was like, well, who said that people who live in neighborhoods like this shouldn't have something that looks and feels and represents like what we do? And so I think being the, you know, to some degree, like the gatekeepers and the holders of that story and that narrative is something that carries on with us to this day, because we don't want it to just be, oh, a Black woman owned this or they support a Black, you know, that. It's like, no, it actually is just a business. And we're in this community and the people in this community are the ones who should benefit from what it is that we have to offer first. And everybody else can kind of fall in line behind that. And so I think just kind of knowing that and having that awareness and then standing in that and letting that carry through our business decisions, our collaborations, our partners, people that we choose to work with, like all of that is something that is really a priority for us.
I'm glad you said that. And I feel like Oakland represents, there's many companies that represent that ethos, you know, in terms of why they want to be here in this community because of that authenticity and organic, you know, aspect to us. So thank you for that. So Tiffany, I'm kind of still going in rows so everybody gets, you know what I'm saying? I want to hear about it. Hey, I didn't get, you weren't asking me enough questions.
Give me another
So, I mean, you know, I guess, you know, we're not cool. So I'm giving everybody equal ratio here, okay? You, like, I feel like have your pulse on design. What has inspired you on some of the projects? What is your design aesthetic typically rooted in? Because what we have here, I mean, I want to say that you guys gave me the blueprint after we discussed the aesthetics that I wanted to see, right? Is that how you work with clients, or do you bring clients forth with a vision before you guys move forward, or what is your process?
I feel like it's a little bit of both. You know, you definitely want to take in what the client's goal is. One of the main things that I like to always ask, like, what do you want it to feel like? So always just kind of taking that, because you can interpret it in different ways. And our strategy is usually to figure out what the feel is that you want, and then to give a few different variations of that. So I think that we always will sprinkle ourselves in there as well, you know, but we'll usually give kind of a gamut of, you know, okay, let's stick to exactly what they said they want. Let's sprinkle a little bit more, you know, more, and just kind of get a little creative with it. But it's definitely a little bit of both.
So who have you guys been working with? Can you give our audience just a drop or two of folks you've collaborated with so far?
Yeah, we did a design, installation, and plant maintenance project for Supercell.
Okay.
We are
Kimpton.
We are in constant partnership with the Kimpton Hotel.
Kimpton Hotel. Okay.
So we also did their what do you call it, lounger? What is
Like
that?
studio.
Studio
Yes.
space.
That's amazing.
and we do events there for them as well. We are in the midst of doing some other really cool projects that we can't speak on. Of course, we did this with you guys in Visit Oakland.
Of course.
And then go.
So we did an installation with CL Creative Space, which is in Berkeley, for their kind of grand reopening coming out of COVID. So that was really fun.
It's awesome. So you guys are super busy.
We are, yeah.
Yeah.
We are busy and blessed. You know, I think we love what we do, and I think it's just a matter of making sure we have the team to be able to keep up with all of the work and the blessings that come with it.
Absolutely. So let's give our viewers some other vibes throughout our city. Like, where do you guys like to hang out? Where do you find your own creative inspiration from the city itself, in terms of restaurants, in terms of just places you take your families? Where do you guys hang out in Oakland? Put them on game, on notice.
When we do hang out,
When we're not
and sleep.
Everybody,
Home and
y'all,
sleep.
I saw Tiffany out. She be hanging out.
Tiffany be in the streets for sure. Worldwide.
She's outside.
She's outside.
She's outside.
She has a good time. We all love Bar Shiru,
Yes.
Bar Shiru is dope.
which is one of our favorite
Tell
places.
people what Bar Shiru is. What do they do?
Bar Shiru is an incredible bar that it's a vinyl record bar.
Right.
And they only play vinyl records with some real top shelf drinks and cocktails. They preserve the sound system, so there's only a certain amount of people that they allow in the space at a time, so that you can actually hear the music and the sound of the music.
That's amazing.
It's moody. There's nothing like it in Oakland. And the owners are dear friends and incredible people and incredible activists in Oakland as well. So we love Bar Shiru.
I'm looking forward to talking to them. So I hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sound dope.
What's on your list?
Gosh, I feel like we've been hanging out at Cassell at the
High
newest
Five.
hotel,
High
High
Five.
Five,
Okay.
at their
It's a nice
rooftop
venue.
lounge
Nice
there.
hotel.
They've got some yummy bites and some good cocktails, a nice kind of view of the city.
Definitely.
So that's a fun place to go.
What about you, Tiff?
So I love places like Mushin, which is a Black-owned kind of sports bar. I love Smoking Woods to eat, which is really good. Some of the best
Definitely.
barbecue out here. Barcota, they have me.
Yes.
Calcanan has me on Ethiopian food really like crazy. And then I also will go to what's the one that's on Broadway? Oh God,
Restaurant?
no, it's
Meridian?
it's a bar.
Meridian.
Yes.
Meridian. Oh yeah, Meridian.
I like that
Nice.
too.
It's fly.
Yeah.
That's fly. So where do you guys take the kids? Where do kids like to hang out in Oakland? Families.
Well, I'm the only one who has some.
I got them too. So
No,
yeah,
I'm
where
saying
you-
out
I
of
can get
our
some
threesome
advice.
here, out of this throuple, it's just me. Where did I take them? So we love Marcus Books. So we take them there.
Tell the
to get-
people, what is Marcus Books?
It's
what's the story?
It's an incredible Black woman-owned bookstore in
Right.
Oakland, and Blanche owns the shop, and it just has such a great collection of all types of
Absolutely.
books, and a really great representation for my children.
And one of the oldest Black
Oldest, yeah.
bookstores,
Yeah.
we might add too. So definitely
Let's
check out
add that
Marcus
for
Books.
sure, yeah. So we go there, but to be quite honest with you, my kids are like at an age now where it's just a lot of dropping off to
Right.
games and picking up from practices and play dates, like
Definitely.
sleepovers and stuff.
Definitely.
They come to the greenhouse and get themselves some kid-friendly coffee from Blythe Coffee, which is also set up inside of our greenhouse, which is a incredible coffee cart owned by Natalia Carrera. Again, a Black woman that owns this incredible artisanal coffee shop within our shop, and sells baked goods from other makers in Oakland. Teas, lattes. So they come in there and hang out and
That's dope.
grab themselves a latte. Yeah, and then like outdoor things. We love nature and hiking and parks.
You guys just gave me an idea. I think we need to do a festival. Like, we've got big plans to interview so many like-minded individuals. I feel like there's a vibe that needs to be nurtured, because we can do some big things, ladies, you know, like really here in Oakland, and let the world know what Oakland's all about. Because we have so many dope things. Like, you have a micro business within your business, right? That's pretty fascinating. You're supporting another Black entrepreneur, and we got to have her on too to give her some shine. But the point is, we can incubate anything we want to. This show, everything that's happening is basically, like I said, your wildflowers are spreading. So I just want to give you light and celebrate you ladies on what you're contributing to our zeitgeist. And let's continue to build, shall we?
Yes.
We shall.
Well, thank you for your time. The women of Black Girls Greenhouse, Kalu, Jamaica, Tiffany.
Hi, I'm Jamaica Thomas.
I'm Kalu Gabriel Johannes.
And I'm Tiffany Stapleton.
And you're watching See Things from Our Side with Taj Tashombe.